One of them will be joining us. But basically, we are on call number 6, and we are on a final call. And I'm just kind of gonna muddle forward, even if nobody gets on this call, so we can close this out and we can start a new training segment, which I'm calling Microbursts. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that as part of our training with new consultants. So this is call number 6. And this is all about the new consultant strong start. Our homework tonight is going to be a pretty extensive call put together by Becky Ishii and Stacy Etzel, and they've teamed together with a few other executives and worked with home office to come up with the coaching and accountability part that is our responsibility as leaders and as consultants to help our new consultants get off to a strong start. But their call isn't just about what the new consultants are going to be trained on. It's actually the words and things and the systems that you need as a trainer. I think that you're going to walk away from this if you put together the notebook and you take the training. Hi, Tristan. Let me make sure you are unmuted. Okay. Whoops. Oops. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, hello. I can hear you. Okay. We are good. And Lynette Allman is at a recruiting interview. We'd love to hear that.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, she told me.
Okay. So, I was just setting the stage for our new consultant strong start. I actually went through and did the homework already so that I could really kind of help you, because in the last week, Pampered Chef has put up new videos for new consultants to get started, and we are going to be talking about their experience as well as the training that we need to feel confident in helping people get off to a strong start. So the very first thing is that we want to know where this is for the new consultants, and we want to take it ourselves. So if you go to the PCU University online through the company's website, you're going to click into training and information leadership, training and leadership, and you are going to look for the PC University, which is right at the top of the list of options. Click on that, and you're going to see it's going to lead you right to new consultant training, and it's going to ask you if you're a new consultant or if you want to take it as a refresher. And you're going to click in, if you're not a new consultant, you're going to click into the refresher part of it, and you're going to be walked through the program. Most of the videos are from 1 minute to 6 minutes long. They are very quick, they're concise, but they are also very proactive and really great information for new consultants and old consultants alike. And I just, we can all challenge ourselves to go through the assignments with the new consultants, but because the videos are so short, Pampered Chef is encouraging them to take a video and do a little bit of the work, and the next day take the next video. So they are geared for 6 days and 10 to 15 minute increments with the work and the video. So really great stuff. I think people will be very focused. It won't overwhelm people, and it's a great thing for them to do. So tonight, as I was talking about the homework with Becky Ishii and Stacy Etzel, it is the coaching words and the training and the systems that we need to put together as leaders. And I just love the fact that it's just a 4-pocket system in a notebook. And as soon as you've made one phone call, you take the consultant's new start agreement where you're tracking everything and put it into the next pocket. So there's a welcome call, and then there's call 1, 2, and 3. And then there's one more pocket where it says unqualified consultants. And that's where you're still able to work with the consultants, even if they haven't gone through all the steps. So it's just a super easy notebook system, but I think if you actually do it and set it up, you're going to feel very confident in helping people get off to a strong start. Again, if you need a 2 or 3-way call with your new consultants and you want me to go through this with you, I'm happy to do a 3-way call where we practice all 4 calls together until you feel confident as a new recruiter to do it on your own. So Tristan, I know that you feel confident training people, but anybody who is chiming in and watching this, I want to make that offer if you're on our team to help you feel very confident. Becky's going to refer to that system, and so is Stacy, where by the time you're a team leader and you've done it 2 or 3 times, you feel confident to pick up the training and do it on your own.
Thanks for doing that.
So last week, we talked a little bit about recruiting and just any questions on that? I know Lynette's off at a recruiting interview right now, so she's probably implementing, but just putting those 7 questions on your tablet or your phone or pulling them up as you need it through the website, that's a great thing. And hopefully, did you do the homework last week? I don't need to put you on the spot. Okay, call 5. Okay, the homework was watching a video, and I think it was going through the, sorry, I've got a pile of papers here. Okay, call 5. Implementing the Director Bound program, it challenged us to make the 15 contact and listen to Genevieve Black and Brenda's copies training on top recruiters tell all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Again, you can always go back and listen to it, but they make it very informal and very approachable and easily to duplicate. So hopefully we've all got some tips from watching their techniques and the casual way that they just make it about the person that they're asking questions. Yeah. So and that they're not afraid to get a no. That's one of the big things that we can learn from that call is that they're just trying to see if it's a good fit for other people. So let's see. New consultant PCU. Again, these videos have been updated in the last week or so, and so I am encouraging everybody to go through them. And the big focus on call number 1 is getting to know your new consultant, finding out their why. And Becky really hits home that it's not just important for the person to say that they need money, but she said, well, can you tell me what that would look like and how meaningful that would be to your budget? What would you do? And she said almost every single coaching phone call she makes it about the person's why, because that makes it worth their time and meaningful to them. Also, it helps her coach them to success when she knows what specific goals are for them, what difference that's going to mean in their life. So after that, she makes sure that they have 4 to 6 parties in their first 30 days. She talks about practicing. Becky Itzel makes the analogy that you are an airplane and you're needing to go as fast as you can down the runway so that you can get your plane up in the air and feel confident. And you're going to be nervous at first, but if you can do 4 to 6 shows fairly quickly, you're going to feel a lot more confident with your business. Mm-hmm. Call number 2 that they're making is all about, and also these handouts and the systems for the notebook are on the conference app. because it was a training at conference. It will be on the conference app is where you'll find all the handouts and stuff.
I think it is it also on. I think it's on the.
The Director Bound program. It's linked.
It's also in the training audio section on Consultants Corner.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. So 48 hours after you've made your first welcome call and you've chatted with the consultant, I know that last week I made a call to a new consultant and we just kind of talked a little bit. And then at the end, I told her, just some possibilities of things that she could do with the business and that she could choose to have a strong start in the business or be a fast track leader in the company, or she could just choose to try to see what fate deals her. Within a week, she had thought about it and she called me back. She texted me first and she said, I really want to talk a little bit more about the business and some ideas that I have. This next call, she really had a concrete goal on how much money she needed to make, why she was doing it, what she enjoyed about the business, some of the possibilities from things that she had, and she was very, very engaged. It was a little longer than 48 hours, but it was a very productive phone call, and I know exactly where Renee wants to go with this business because of this second phone call. We talked about what shows she had gotten scheduled, who she had contacted. She hasn't quite gotten to the 4 to 6 shows, but she is definitely willing to drive back to an old area that she used to live that's a couple hours away so that she can get some additional bookings. We talked about how she could challenge friends and family to invite people she didn't know and invite people virtually that lived in the new area that she lived at to make connections for her and referrals, and how to make it fun for the people who were coming to the party by helping her get started in her new area even though she was 2 hours away. So we did introduce the Fast Track Director program and, sending the link so that she could take a look at it. And that I shared that when it first started, we had, 18 to 20 fast track directors. And at conference this year, we had over 500 new directors. And out of those 500, about 124, I believe, were fast track directors. And as people see that it's possible, more people are going to become fast track directors. And they are finding that they are having sticking power and that it isn't just a flash in the pan, that it's something that is very viable to become a fast track director. And those fast track directors are also talking about virtual shows. They're using virtual shows and they are bringing on virtual show consultants. So then the next thing that you're going to find is host coaching basics. So again, some of these little videos, some of them are a little bit longer, 5 to 6 minutes, but there are some great host coaching tips. So a lot of the training that we've spent 45 minutes to an hour, Pampered Chef has been able to condense it down, and Stacia and another home office team member are doing the little videos. They're very quick, they're very upbeat, and very, very duplicatable to do that. And so host coaching was definitely covered, and the systems and the links that you need for host coaching, and help that consultant feel confident so that she can have a successful show. The next thing was, what were they going to say at their shows? To write their story. Why did they get interested? How do you make it so that even if you were doing it for the money, it could be something that somebody who was interested as a creative outlet or a social outlet or self-improvement might see themselves in their story too. Call number 3 is all about helping the consultant get ready for their first show. Helping them to feel confident. So this needs to happen 2 to 3 days before their first show. And obviously, you're going to have their first show scheduled in on your calendar, and you're going to have to backtrack it a couple of days so that you have a system, you have a system for contacting them at the appropriate time so that they get ready. And you definitely need to say, I'm going to try my best to call you 2 to 3 days ahead of time. Let's go ahead and set that phone appointment. But if for some reason you haven't heard from me, please call me. Make sure that you build that safety net in there. But we all should be used to phone appointments by now. So call number 4 happens right after their first party. And that's where we're going to do a debrief. We're going to discuss how it went. What went right? That's a great thing to ask them. So what went right at your show? Can you tell me about that? Was there something that you might have forgotten to do that we can still go back and contact people and let them know about it? Teach them how to do the customer care and ask them if they gave out, any recruiting material. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough, so it's coming up kind of as a yawn. Okay. Then also the 3-way calling system that you have with your team members, so that if they do bring somebody in the business, you're going to help them support their new team member, and they're not going to be out there. And obviously that's something you want to tell them before the show so that they feel confident of integrating that recruiting component into telling their story. So let's go ahead and move forward into implementing the Director Bound program. Why is it important to do launch parties? Now, Stacy Itzel shared that they were really going to help the consultant get ready for their launch show, but nobody on their team actually goes to the launch parties with the consultant. I find when I go to a launch party with the consultant that they're very nervous. And even though they were planning on doing part of it, I prompted them to do it. Just having me there makes them very self-conscious and less likely to participate, and they want you to do it for them. And so we want to make sure that their customers and potential hostesses are connecting with them and not the expert trainer. And so, that's discussed on this call with Stacy. So, again, setting those expectations for the whole team and having a system where everybody on the team is doing the same thing. And so, again, that gives people on the team confidence, and it also gives the recruit, the new consultant, confidence, because every other new consultant is going out there and doing their own launch party too on their team. And you can always break these calls, these long calls, into shorter calls or a combination of a call, a text, and an email, just so long as you're conveying the important information. So you could have a fillable outline for them to tell their story. You can actually ask them to text you or email you the results. And then when you talk, you can just kind of go over them. And that way it allows you to keep the call moving at a more comfortable pace where they don't have to think up the answers on the spot. And, again, we're trying to respect their time, and we also don't want to overwhelm people. We also want to make sure that we are focusing on booking and recruiting. That's how people's businesses continue. A lot of times new consultants want to talk about their sales, but what we really want them to focus on is the bookings, because that's how their business continues. Of course, you want a hybrid of both, but letting them know the most important thing that can happen at the show is that they get bookings, and giving them the words and the trainings on how to make it fun and successful so that they get those bookings and they get those recruit leads and recruits. So how do you do that? You practice, and We always encourage people to have a batter bowl buddy, somebody to practice with, whether they're a team member or they're a good friend, just going through and practicing the steps. So the call to action is to set a time with a partner to practice on call 1, call 2, 3, and 4, so that you get comfortable coaching people to success. Using the words, working with the scripts, coming up with the system. It's perfectly okay to go back and backtrack and say, you know, Tristan, I think maybe I left some holes in your training, and Pampered Chef just came up with some new videos that I'd love to have you take the refresher on. And I'd love to have you, if you could spare a few minutes, do a couple of phone calls with me so I can practice on coaching you to success. A lot of the stuff you probably figured out on your own, but if we could see if there's any chinks in your armor and anything I forgot to tell you, I would love for us to do a redo. Would you be open to that? So, yay. So if you don't have a brand new consultant, but you want to go back and you want to work with somebody, especially if they haven't qualified, you know, this is really a great opportunity with us having brand new strong start videos to go back and do a redo, you know, so perfect timing for that. Also on your own, make sure that you've gone through the Coaching New Consultants Guide. That's, again, some of this material, the notebook, the systems, the scripts, the words. This particular homework is a little longer. You might want to break it down into steps and do the first part, make the note, then take the next training and practice call number 1. After you practice call number 1, maybe you want to do, so you know what your attention span is. I don't want anybody zoning out because this is a longer call. It has fantastic content. Very, very helpful to feeling like you can get people off to a strong start. Again, we're encouraging everybody to make those 15 contacts a week outside of your party. I was on the last call and I was just talking about how Lynette Almond has dedicated to making sure that those are 15 live contacts, not text messages where she left a message, not emails and not recorded messages, 15 connections with a live person to see if she can't improve having brand new business of 50% to 75%, as well as keeping her old business customer care calls up. And then, you know, the big assignment where all of this is going to make sense is if you get into Consultant Corners, take the training and resources, go to the Director Bound, click on the Call 6 and Consultant Resources, and share some time with Becky Ishii and Stacy Itzel as they help us navigate the coaching and helping consultants get off to a strong start. It's proven over and over again that consultants that start strong and make money are going to stay on your team a lot longer and be much more productive, happy, confident consultants. So, you know, I have a very, very short motivational thought. I got my new planner ready for 2018 so I can book my January. By the end of November, I got everything, and every calendar page has a little motivational thought. And this one really, I thought sounded good because it's in line with me on my focus, my follow-up, and to stop making excuses. And it says she woke up one morning and threw away all of her excuses. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was a very concise, motivational thought that sometimes we get stuck in trying to get people to understand everything that's going on in our life, and it becomes very cyclical that we've got all of these excuses And we're so busy telling people that we're busy that we aren't allowing ourselves to be successful. And that if we stopped worrying about how much we had to do and just did it, that we would have plenty of time to be successful. So she woke up one morning and threw away all of her excuses, you know? So sometimes we just need to purge. So that's it. You know, we had a nice tight call. Tristan, do you have any questions or anything you want to share that I might have left out here?
Well, earlier you were talking about fast track for
Yeah.
director, and and I know we can see it in more detail, but could you share, Dina, just a quick words of how you would introduce that to a new consultant?
Well, one of the things is I went back and looked, would I have been a fast track director? And the answer is yes, I would have been a fast track director. When I started, you had to be with the company 6 months before you could promote to director. But I went back and I looked, and I had the team sales, the personal sales, and the number of team members in 90 days that I could have promoted to director in 90 days. So one of the things that I, just started looking at is it's very doable. It was something that I did. We didn't have the title, and we actually had a time requirement because Pampered Chef thought that you needed to have longevity with the company just to know all the systems in place.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have computer resources back then because it was 25 years ago, that they just wanted you to have some longevity with the company. But people come with certain skill sets. They could have come from another company. They could have already been a great trainer. And so now there is no time requirement because we can't look at somebody and go, okay, she needs 6 months and she needs 1 month or whatever. And a lot of times it has to do with motivation. So one of the things when I was working with the new consultant is, I told her that we had over 500 new promotions to director last year. And out of that, about 1/5 of the promotions were fast track directors. So obviously this is gaining more and more momentum. There's the virtual show possibility. And why don't you look in the mirror and say, if them, why not me? And so I just introduced it and told her where it was, and that was part of the training. If you go through the Strong Start, one of the handouts is the fast track director information. So it's right there. So you might as well assume if other people can do it, you can do it too. So I think that's, just kind of how I laid it out with the consultant 2 weeks ago, and she's taken a look at it. And, again, when you say and you give them the handout and you give them the link, you're showing that you have confidence in them. So that's a little bit about how I do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I just really encourage people, if they can take 10 to 15 minutes a day for the next few days, to just click into those new consultants Strong Start, and you're going to experience what they're experiencing, and you can say, well, why not bring people into this business? Look at this great training that Pampered Chef has put in place for them.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for your time and being pretty devoted to being on all the calls, Tristan. I appreciate that. And you sharing your online opportunity events and the posts and stuff that you have with that. I really appreciate it. Oh, we have somebody joining us. I think that might be Annette.
Okay, let's start over.
Okay, unmute. Annette, is that you?
It is me.
That's a 605 phone number. Hey, we are just wrapping it up. How'd your recruiting interview go?
I have my second new consultant this week signing. So
Was that the gal that was on the opportunity call? Or the
It was.
opportunity event?
It was. Yep, Amy that I met with. So,
I'm
yep,
excited
she
for
is
you
gonna
guys.
she is going to order her kit next Friday. So that is exciting.
Very exciting. Well, congratulations on recruit number 1, and congratulations on just connecting, making that interview happen, and getting that next recruit. And for both of you, putting together these opportunity events. I know that they're going to be gaining popularity. I hope that I can click in next time I have a sinus infection Sunday and was in a world of hurt. So.
The feedback's been really positive, Dina. So it was very action packed and kind of frenzied, but it was fun and the feedback was really positive. And Autumn signed her new girl yesterday, and then Lynette today, and then the other one was on my team as well. The other gal that was on, and she's highly interested. So 3 for 3, I'd say that's a pretty good number.
Again,
I think so too.
I think it's just like fast track. Once you start seeing that, you're going to have success with it, and more people are going to want to do it, and more people are going to say, "Why not me?"
Yeah, and I think you get that with the opportunity events a little bit more. They're not as intimate as like a one-on-one interview, but you can do that as well, just like what Lynette did tonight. But the opportunity event, you get a small glimpse of the bigger picture, because you have all these consultants chiming in from all over the country and from different levels of business, and so everybody's sharing and everybody's excited. So
and synergy too. I think also because maybe somebody asked a question that they were either afraid to ask or they didn't think of on their own, and just getting that answer is good for people as well. So virtual opportunity events as well as virtual shows. So congratulations again, Lynette. Did you have any input? Tonight's call was on New Consultant Strong Start, and how there is brand new training for new consultants. It's in this microburst format where the videos are 1 to 6 minutes long, and they're encouraging people to work their business 10 to 15 minutes a day, 5-6 days a week while they're doing these trainings. And then of course the homework has to do with our role as a coach and a trainer, and giving us the words and the systems to do that. So knowing that, Lynette, did you have anything maybe you wanted to reiterate or add or enlighten us with on New Consultant Strong Start and coaching?
I think one of the things, because I listened to actually the audio today about the Strong Start, and I think it's important to share with the new consultant as you're working with them that this is all the training laid out by the home office, so they're not scared to be able to basically duplicate you.
Right.
Was one thing that really stuck with me, is to not make it harder than it is. Duplicate exactly what the home office is doing, so that the people on your team feel confident that, well, she's basically just reading the script from the home office. Because if you're brand new, you're very intimidated by starting a new consultant.
And also letting them know that Pampered Chef hasn't pulled this together willy-nilly. They know what works, and they're helping people do what works. Whether it's you as a trainer helping people get off to a strong start, or it's the new consultant, if they just do what they're told to do. I came back from executive seminar, and they talked about how 99% of entrepreneurs do not like to be told what to do. And so somehow they've got to convince themselves to lead their own ship, basically, because one of the qualities of an entrepreneur is they don't like to be told what to do. Hey, I just found this little note on coaching, and since part of this call is on coaching, I thought I'd write down the questions. Was when we're coaching, we want to be letting them do at least 75% of the talking, and we want to be guiding the conversation. And so Pampered Chef gave us some questions to ask people. And the first one is, tell me about that. So once they give us some information, maybe about their first show or whatever, that we can ask them to tell me about that. Or can you say a little bit more about how you felt when you were talking about cookware or the power tools? How did that feel, or what was that like? Is another great question to try to ask these open-ended questions to get them talking and really sharing. Can you help me understand? That's another great question to ask people. If they're nervous or whatever, and you are really trying to help them overcome their fear, one of the things that you want to do is you have to make sure that you understand what they're feeling. So help me understand. And then, are you okay? Are you okay with the amount of money? Are you okay with the party? Are you okay with the results? You know, again, these are all great little questions that we can ask. There's just 5 of them. Sharing our own vulnerabilities and weaknesses also help them to understand we're just human and we are here for them, and we probably walked down a similar pathway, but you know, we don't have to spend 75% of the call telling them all about us, but you know, try to get that. And if they do want a solution and they haven't come up with the solution on their own, that's when you ask their permission. Because what? 99% of entrepreneurs don't want to be told what to do. So you want to check for clarity, and you want to ask, do you mind if I share? I've come up with a couple ideas, and then again, you go back to them solving it and them coming up with a solution that they might want to try. Another question you can ask them, again at the end, after, if they haven't come up with a solution to the problem, you can say, do you mind if I offer a solution? Anyhow, I came home with executive seminar with those questions so that I could be a better coach, where I zipped it more and I got them to talk. And I think you're going to find that Becky and Stacy's insight, if you break it down into segments, is just very, very powerful and very instructful on helping us be better coaches, better listeners, and better leaders. So I encourage everybody to take the refresher on the new consultant Strong Start, as well as take Stacy and Becky's training from National Conference on how to coach and lead consultants through the Strong Start process. So we have really finished up our implementing the Director Bound program, and hopefully you'll go back, you'll review, you'll check for where as a leader you might need some additional polishing, and you can use this program over and over again. We will keep the calls up in case you want to go back and review or you missed some of the homework. So again, I appreciate both of you, Lynette and Tristan, being involved in these calls and making it so I'm not talking to a blank screen as people are really listening to these calls at a later time. So, and I think we're going to find more and more people like to do that. I think it's kind of the difference between cable and Netflix. They can watch Netflix whenever they want, and they've gotten used to that convenience, where cable, unless they remember to set their recorder, they can only watch it when it's on. So anyhow, I think we're becoming that society where we like to do everything at our convenience. But again, thank you for taking the time and being part of this and your leadership on the call. I appreciate both of you. Have a fantastic night. And congratulations again, both of you, on your success with your opportunity events. Bye.
Thanks, Dina.
Hi, you're welcome.